He lasted until the 6th round before getting his face caved in. Literally, you can see the x-rays of his jaw online. Jake did not beat the count after absorbing the right hand that broke his jaw, and AJ got the KO. Guys, let me come out and say the story to me coming out of this fight is Jake Paul. This dude is a maniac in the best sense of the word.
Picture yourself in a Miami ring, staring across at a man who weighs 243 pounds, carries an Olympic gold medal, and has devoted his life to mastering the knockout. For years, Jake Paul was seen as a protected influencer, a guy who only faced retired MMA fighters or opponents who didn't know how to throw a proper jab. But Friday night changed all that when Anthony Joshua's right hand landed in the 6th round. It wasn't just a punch, it was a structural collapse. Jake's eyes glazed over, his mouth fell open in a silent shock, and for a moment, the whole influencer boxing scene felt unnervingly real. By the time he hit the canvas for 4th and final time, the spectacle had transformed into a surgical takedown.
This is the worst defense in boxing. Jake fires his signature overhand right while dropping his left hand. Although the shot lands clean, Joshua takes it well and goes to counter with his own right. But Jake completely crosses his arms, leaving himself wide open for the counter. So Joshua makes him pay with a right.
Most people see a knockout and assume it's over. But for Jake Paul, the nightmare was only beginning. After the cameras stopped rolling and the $50 million checks were signed, the reality hit hard. Jake wasn't just injured. His jaw was literally broken in 2 places. He didn't just brush it off. He went straight to a hospital bed, where surgeons had to rebuild his face using 2 titanium plates. We're talking missing teeth, a 7-day liquid-only diet, and a constant, numbing ache that no amount of internet fame can heal. It's one thing to call yourself a fighter, but it's another to spend a week drinking every meal through a straw because a former world champion decided to put your face to the test.
AD doctor says I may not be able to eat solid food again. He also advised I stop talking shit I can't flush.
Even with his jaw in pieces, the experts' reactions were arguably the most shocking part of the night. On the latest episode of Inside the Ring, Kellerman and Malik Scott didn't just break down the loss. They analyzed the man behind it. Kellerman, who's watched every legendary fighter over the past 30 years, refused to entertain any Jake Paul criticism. He called him deluded in the best way possible, likening him to a literary hero who refuses to let reality dictate what he can achieve. According to Max, Jake lives in his own imagination, ignoring the fact that he arguably has no business facing an elite heavyweight. And honestly, when you look at the numbers, Max might have a point.
By the way, I know it was a lot like William Skull and Canelo Alvarez, where Skull was kind of outlanding Canelo upstairs, but there was nothing on the shots. But the fact is, actually, Jake Paul landed more clean punches to the head than Anthony Joshua did before the end of the fight. What he did was amazing.
Yes.
And guys, he also did something else by taking this fight. What Jake did was retroactively justify fighting a guy like Tank Davis, or even trying to make that fight. Because what Jake is demonstrating here is, okay, everybody, you're accusing me of having to fight an ancient Mike Tyson, or a tiny Tank Davis, or an old MMA fighter. I'm really thinking about how to make a global event that people are interested in, that captures your imagination. Watch this. I'll put myself on the short side of that.
Yes.
I'll get in and fight. It's not about who's bigger, who's smaller, who's older, who's younger. It's about what is a compelling event. By the way, whether or not you agree with that, I don't 100% agree with that way of thinking, but that's his way of thinking. He did it again. And I gotta take my hat off to him. I was amazed that he was able to get into the 6th round with it.
Believe it or not, before that final bone-crushing right hand landed, Jake Paul was actually landing more clean shots than Anthony Joshua.
The game plan from both guys from round 1. Jake was very mobile. I mean, he had the happy feet going. He was circling around the outside of the ring. He was not looking to engage in elongated combinations. He was not looking to stand in the center of the ring with AJ. And people are going to say Jake ran from AJ And you're right. Because guess why? He absolutely had to. Again, we talked about this in the build-up to the fight. He had to be mobile. He had to be on his bike. So yes, you're justified in saying Jake ran from him because he had to. He had to. And anybody that convinced themselves that Jake was going to walk to the center of the ring, stand in the phone booth with AJ and trade punches until someone laid flat, you were lying to yourself, or you convinced yourself of something you saw in the promo. This was always going to be the way the fight went. I wasn't surprised at all that this is the way that Jake started and pretty much fought the entire time. I was a bit surprised that AJ didn't assert himself earlier. Now, again, it is very hard to hurt someone that doesn't want to engage in a continuous fight. Round one, very much a feeling out process for AJ. Didn't really look like he did much, but Jake didn't either. There was one right hand that AJ landed in the first round that shook Jake up. That's the danger that was coming for Jake the entire.
Kellerman believes he knows why AJ looks so off, and he calls it a Spectre disaster. Consider the pressure Joshua was under. If he knocked Jake out in 30 seconds, everyone would say, so what? He's a YouTuber. But if he got caught by one lucky shot and lost, his entire legacy could vanish in an instant. That fear of embarrassment can paralyze even the greatest athletes. IT turned AJ into a shadow of the fighter who faced Vladimir Klitschko back in 2017. He was so focused on avoiding a mistake that he forgot how to be the elite powerhouse the world knows. It took him 6 rounds to achieve what a rising prospect like Moses Adama might have done in just 60 seconds.
Jake Paul, from the beginning to now, he has got better and better and better. And then another thing is, like, we keep forgetting that he's supposed to fight Gervonta Davis. And that happened fast.
Gervonta wouldn't have stopped him.
But hold on. And now you fighting Anthony Joshua?
Yes.
Like, so now you
And
go
also,
from
don't forget, that was an exhibition, too. That would have been...
But I'm saying, like, the game plan to fight a guy that's 5'5" has to change drastically to fight, like, 6'6" heavyweight champ. Like, give him credit for that, too.
And by choice, JD.
But the problem with you, I'm having weight right now, Max, and you let him off the hook. Anthony Joshua to be a heavyweight champ, the way y'all talk about it,
Shady's right.
he looks terrible.
I have to say,
and when
Shady's right.
Tyson Fury puts his hands on him, I can't wait.
Shady's right this time. I give Shady a lot of crap on the show about Joshua. I was disappointed. That wasn't
embarrassing.
I don't think
he
so.
He couldn't cut off the ring. Right? That's concerning.
No
I
feints.
understand it's a bigger ring, right? It's 22 by 22. No feints. He's right. And I've seen a lot of people on social media saying Joshua went easy on him. I don't think so. I think Joshua was trying.
Look at Jake's face. You think he went easy?
I don't think he went easy.
He would have left the broken jaw out.
That's as dumb as the people who show you, like, Mike Tyson throwing a right hand that he stopped saying Mike was not trying to hurt Jake Paul. When, in fact, all boxing fans who know what they were looking at were very grateful that Jake didn't hurt Mike in that fight, right?
I agree.
AJ is a different story. This is what I would say about AJ's performance. There was supposed to maybe be another fight between now and the Tyson-Fury fight as a tune-up. Were I advising AJ, I would cancel that fight. No fights. Immediately. No more fights until you, because
there's no telling what happened type of thing.
There's no.
Even Malik Scott, a man immersed in elite boxing and who trained some of the sport's top fighters, had to admit he was wrong. Malik came into the fight as a major skeptic, but watching Jake rise from 3 separate knockdowns with a broken jaw changed everything. He noted that Jake didn't just survive, he stayed conscious and defiant until the final bell. There's a viral clip showing Jake in the ring, spitting a streak of blood onto the canvas while processing that his face was shattered. He wasn't crying or searching for an escape. He was almost proud of the punishment he endured. That kind of heart can't be taught, and it's exactly why Malik says Jake finally earned his respect.
Love him.
Come on.
No question. I mean, the fact that he would fight for a cruiserweight world title, he's fought, now he has had 3 real professional fights against guys around his size.
Chavez.
One of them was I'm not even talking about Chavez because he was old and came back. I mean guys who are active fighters. He lost to Tommy Fury, and then he beat 2 guys in Florida in smaller events. But they were active fighters with winning records, okay? So on those 3 cruiserweight fights, he wants a cruiserweight title shot. Now, he'll get it if he wants it because he means a lot of money. Do you think he's ready to fight for a cruiserweight title, Malik?
In 4 or 5 fights, yes, I do.
Right, he needs another 4 or 5.
Yeah,
But the danger is just like with AJ, he could lose in one of those 4 or 5 fights.
I don't think so. I don't think so because the matchmaking, they've been doing a great job at that. The first chance he took was against Anthony Joshua, and look how he did. Shady, he did
Wait, hold on.
incredible.
By the way,
Cruiser-
he was conscious.
Yes.
He got his,
Yeah.
like, the dude has so much heart.
He
He's
was so
on the
happy
floor
that he had a broken
with a
jaw.
broken
Shady.
jaw, and he's like, whoa. He was just happy to be a part of it.
And I was happy
Yeah.
that I was happy for him because I had a lot of doubt, and he earned my respect.
Yes.
I'm a Jake Paul fan for
Yes.
sure. But let's just slow it down, fellas. Put the timeout, 30-second timeout. Who you gonna put him in there with? You said contending for a cruiser. Who you gonna
Yeah,
put?
Who's the cruiserweight that just beat Badu Jack?
Yeah.
Noel McCallion.
Okay, give Jake Paul 4 or 5 more fights.
I think
and I'm
4 or
saying
5,
give
and I
him
think
a
if you're
run
going to
for
do
his
4 or
money.
5,
By the way, I don't disagree with that.
I think what you have to do right is get him ready for that. He has to be
You see him,
fighting like
Shady. You'll see. You'll
maybe
see.
washed up cruiserweights, right? Get him ready for that.
I'm good with that.
Champions.
Yeah, I'm good with
But
that.
Shady, even you being
Fight
good with that is a
maybe.
lot. It's Jake
Right,
Paul.
well,
We're talking about him fighting real cruiserweight with real
I just
records and
don't-
beating
I
him.
don't-
Can he beat his door?
Listen,
Of course, the internet went wild over the medical evidence. Jake didn't hesitate to share his x-rays on social media, clearly showing the 2 fractures marked in red.
A great game plan and preparation, unbelievable heart. And the reality is,
Hold on, first off, it wasn't unbelievable heart. He was dancing around, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that because we have weight classes for a reason. But it wasn't unbelievable heart, right? It was a good show. It was a great show.
Jake lost because of the size difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you.
So Jake Paul lost because of the skill difference, not the size difference. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, insult this guy. I'm not. But I'm as a fighter, as a former fighter, as someone that's very experienced in the world of mixed martial arts and combat sports in general, right? This is a crazy shout. He lost because he was smaller. He lost because of the size difference. He also lost because he had no business being in there with him. Anthony Joshua is by far a better boxer. Of course he is. You know this. Every one of you watching this knows that. I know that. The whole world knows that. And of course, this guy's his manager, so he's going to spin it. But there is a reason why we have managers. We have managers to protect us from ourselves.
Looking ahead, the paths for these 2 fighters couldn't be more different. Jake says he's returning to the cruiserweight division to chase a world title. But you have to wonder, can a man with a titanium-reinforced jaw ever truly withstand a punch from a real champion like Zordo Ramirez again? Once the jaw is compromised, the chin rarely holds up.
World of Hurt against Tyson Fury.
Well, I mean, look, this is the thing
What about you think about him and Deontay Wilder fighting?
Yeah, I think Deontay's definitely.
Deontay puts him down.
Two-shot fighters.
The issue with boxing is we're trying to extrapolate. We're trying to draw a lot of information and draw conclusions from very small samples. A guy might fight once or twice a year.
Tough, yeah.
We do not know at this moment how much of that was, oh my God, Jake Paul managed to go 6 rounds
Is
almost,
Anthony Joshua
and how
still
much
one
of
of
it
the best
is
heavyweights in the
AJ?
world?
On decline.
tough,
Is he in the
right?
top 10
NBA
right
players,
now?
NBA's are
Heavyweights in the world. Anthony Joshua is one of the best
He's
heavyweights
been
in
left
the
that
world.
though, man.
I don't
He's been
know.
left
No,
that.
come on.
I don't know if he's top 10 right now.
I would say based on resume and what he's done recently,
Yes.
you put him in the top 10.
Yes.
Based on what he looked like against Jake Paul,
Put him in
I
the
would be
top 10.
curious to see what he looks like next time out to
I
see
don't
if
think
he
no
is
heavyweight in the
Wait,
world
wait,
stopped Jake
wait,
Paul in
wait,
3
Max.
rounds the other night
Max,
if he
why-
fought like that.
Let's leave Jake Paul
Moses
out of it.
Atama knocks out Jake Paul within 1 minute.
Right. But wait,
Yeah, I agree.
let's leave Jake Paul out of it. What about this? After he got put down by the wall, and that was real bad. That was real filthy how he did him.
Yeah.
You telling me you still got him as an elite top heavyweight champion
Who
right
said
now?
elite
No, it's not
top
elite.
heavyweight champion, but a top 10 heavyweight?
Yeah, not
you
that.
could
So you
argue.
say resume though, like Moses don't have the resume,
No,
but you'll bet your last dollar and your paycheck on the ring that
I don't bet fights.
if you did bet,
Like you guys, how you guys feeling
But-
betting the fights now?
But talking about you would make sure that Moses he cleans that clock, correct?
You want to talk
Not
about
in 2
Jake Paul?
rounds.
Of course.
Not in 2
Of course.
rounds.
Well, Max, you made a great
That
point.
is
So I want to get back to it.
crazy.
You were talking about how we don't know because of the sample size. You're right. You watch an NFL season, the guy has 17 games. You say, all right, this guy's shot. This guy's past it. NBA, same thing, or 82 games.
Baseball, 162 games.
You know
what's
you
what.
know
Yeah.
when these guys are past it. In boxing, we're kind of extrapolating and speculating, but it seems like Joshua might be
Oh,
finished.
Josh was clearly past it. The question is he
How
totally
much?
shot or is he just on the back
Right.
nine?
In the end, the Miami fight was a brutal, blood-soaked spectacle that raised more questions than it answered. Did boxing win because the real fighter landed the knockout? Or did the circus win? With a YouTuber once again becoming the sport's most talked about figure?
Listen, no one could ever accuse Tyson of not having a backbone. This is the guy that when he's been in trouble, and you've seen him in trouble in fights, get off the floor, where a lot of people wouldn't get up. They would let the referee call out, get off the floor and get back into a fight and come out, come up, get up, fight his heart out. He's a warrior, a true warrior, and, his 2 losses were very close fights against AJ. That's it. That's his 2 losses. And AJ, his fight against Daniel Dubois, he just got destroyed by Daniel Dubois. He done a job on him from the very first punch that he landed. He just took him apart and stopped him. And, one thing's for sure, Tyson's not Jake Paul. And for me, and I was very vocal and very adamant that Daniel Dubois would do what he did before the fight. And I know that Tyson, and I really do believe Tyson will do the same thing if the fight happens. And it's all about one thing if the fight happens. Tyson said what his requirements are financially, etc. If they're met, he'll be in there. If they're not met, then it won't happen.
But what do you think about a potential Tyson Fury versus AJ matchup? Can Joshua keep his streak alive against a motivated Tyson Fury? Share your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss our upcoming content. And make sure to drop your opinions in the comments. We want to hear from you. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.